Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of another month, I should say, of the Rex March Madness, the playoffs. Some, of course, shows like VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all. This has been, running throughout the course of March here. We had the qualifiers a couple of weeks ago, we had the group stage, and now we are here with the playoffs. Let us go. Just to be transparent, this event originally was going to be broadcasted a couple of days ago live on Wednesday evening. Unfortunately, at the time, though, the internet was not working. it was not being cooperative. My internet was just very unstable and was unwatchable, essentially. Like Twitch was having a hard time. I was also lagging in game, so unfortunately we weren't able to broadcast it live at the time. So here we are a couple of days later with the playoffs of the Rex March Madness. Big shout out to Rex, of course. Rexy is the Taiwanese Zerg player. He has, as of the past couple of months, been putting a lot of time and effort into content creation, has been casting a lot, and now even running his own tournaments as well. A pleasant surprise to see Rex step into the ring here in March with his madness. With the madness. And the group stage was intense, same with the qualifiers. I do recommend the VODs. VODs are on YouTube, but now we're here with the playoffs themselves. Here we go. Let us switch our scenes over and catch up on the brackets. Let's go. We have our top four. Players. Again, in the group stage, we had two groups of four. We had a group with Zan, herO, MaxPax, and Solar. 3 Protoss, 1 Zerg. And in the other group, we had Clem, Bjorn, Cure, and Shin. 3 Terrans and a Zerg player. We were fanating Rex for for just covering the Zergs in either Protoss or Terran. It was crazy. It was brutal. Solo did not make it out of the group. Shin did. Shin had a really impressive performance against both Cure and against Bjorn as well. Was able to bring them down, and Shin was able to make it out of the group in second place alongside Clem, herO, and MaxPax. They made it out of Group A together, and since then we have split them up. And here we go. We have herO versus Shin. We have Clem versus MaxPax. We're facing off here in the playoffs. These are going to be best of fives playoffs here, leading into the grand finals, which will be a best of 7. Let's go. Likewise, what I appreciate as well here for Rex is that this is not the typical ladder map pool. As with a lot of online tournaments, including this one, we are going to be featuring some other maps in the map pool in other custom maps. I say custom, other maps from TLMC, from one's current and one's previous as well. You should be familiar with this map. We're going to be loading into Hellscape. I believe Hellscape is featured during the Monday night weeklies, which is the TKL European weeklies that do take place on Mondays or /Tuesdays, depending on where you are. And we're jumping into game 1. We're jumping into game number 1. Let's go. Let us go. Meanwhile, shout out to all those in the chat. Share my papi, share my ¿Qué tal? See Easy Phil, Seaberg. Of course, all the others from Bologna. Good to see you. Rowdy. Rowdy. Werehog as well. Sounder. Good to see you all. Noam Chomsky. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo están? As we are diving into our best of 5 and spawning in the bottom right corner of Hellscape, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss. It is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg representing Gaiman Gladiators. It is Shin. Here we go. So we are selling in. Also, for those that are now tuning in as well, a big shout out so much, and thank you so much to all the patrons. By the way, we got 2 new patrons last night and this morning as well. So thank you so much for all the support that we have gotten in the chat. We do appreciate it. We'll do our best to keep the content going to bring you as much StarCraft as we can. Even though we missed out on this event live, bam, we're here a couple of days later with those replays. We are still bringing it to you here and now, and we have more StarCraft to come as always. We have 2 casts a day every single day. Wednesday was an anomaly. Should be back on that horse. So jumping into Hellscape, good to be back. Again, it's a bit of a rare map on the CranKy Ducklings just because we do not cast the Monday night weeklies, so it's quite rare for us to embrace this map, but welcome one and all. Hellscape has, as you can imagine, a very hot aesthetic, very hot. We are going to be getting into a larger macro map. This map is or is a lot longer when it comes to the rush distance by ground. So longer rush distance by ground, a lot of bases as well. The bases are a little bit more open as opposed to some of the older maps in the map pool, like Abyssal Reef, Neon Violet Square, King's Cove. Even though this is a macro map, we do have entrances here in each base. Likewise, there's no high ground advantage here at the third base, at the fourth base, or at the linear fourth base as well. Instead, the attack paths are on the same point of elevation. There are some choke points, yes, but there are a lot of different attack paths, so you can kind of dip and dive and dip in between the bases. There are a lot of angles here for the aggressing player, so even though the map is large, even though there are a lot of bases, you can be more aggressive on this map, which I appreciate. I mean, it's an aesthetic that a lot of the modern maps have, where if you have a large map, we make sure that it's not as turtly, right? It's not as turtly, it's not really prone to just walling up and walling off and forcing a late game. That is not really the mantra of modern day map makers. That's what they try to avoid, even on macro maps. And here we go, we have our third base on the way here, going for the linear third. Shin just opening a patch gas pool, standard opener, pulling out of gas, nothing crazy, nothing wild. Meanwhile, herO back at home, Stargate opener out of herO, most likely into Oracle, into a third base. Now, both Shin and herO typically thrive in the mid game. herO is willing to go into Sky Toss, do not get me wrong, let's be like, he's more than happy to embrace Sky Toss, especially if he gets up to 4 bases, but mostly he does thrive when it comes to his Twilight Council play, Blinkstalker control, Blinkstalker aggression. Likewise, Shin typically thrives off of a 3 base saturation as well. He gets a 4th base just for Larva, but very often does commit into Ling Hydra or Ling Bane Roach Ravager, does commit quite hard into those compositions and doesn't necessarily drone up his 4th base. That is usually how Shin does approach this. Meanwhile, 14 Lings on the way, so Shin, he is going for a bit of a Ling flood early on, is still droning up behind it, but this is a big commitment here from Shin. We'll see what he can get done. We'll see if he can deny the expansion. So far, herO getting in position here towards the top side. Adept is up against the wall. Oracle moves out, and here come those Lings. And we'll see how well this is lined up as the probe comes in for the expansion. Lings, likewise, they did dip in at the same time. The Overlord did confirm. Oh, that's me. That was my original DC when we were covering this live. Oh, feels bad, man. Feels bad. But there we go. Lings, they get a full surround. And down goes the third. It is going to be cancelled. It's going to be denied. Likewise, Oracle races back home. And so far, a strong start here for Shin. It is a strong start. Again, for those who are curious, originally, again, this event was on Wednesday. And we were here. We were live. We were going to be casting it here on the channel. But, yeah, the internet was just having a heart attack is what was happening. I was spiking up to 1,000 ms. It was crazy. Like, I've never seen that before. But I was like spiking up to 1,000, and it was not good, So that was me leaving the game to make sure that I didn't impact the players at the time. Meanwhile, double Oracle towards the main. herO retaking the third base, going for the triangular third, but it's going to be a delayed third base out of herO. The pressure is now on herO to get some damage done with these Oracles. So far, it's been a good start for Shin to force a cancel, to delay, to deny. He can still one-shot drones, making his way towards the third base. Queens are in position. 3 queens on the spore, and so far, nice deflection here by Shin. He deflects here at the third. He pulls away at the natural. Queens, they respond, and so far, no damage from herO. Oh my god! Yeah, herO gets caught out. 1 Oracle goes down. Massive pickoff. The other Oracle will slip away, will escape. Likewise, Adepts, they have arrived. Are there enough Lings here to defend? Lings are racing back home to do with the Adepts. They do race back, and herO, he cancels the Shade. Cancels, does pull away. Lings, they attempt to surround, but the Oracle does activate its Pulsar Beam. And so far, Shin, he doesn't just take down the third base, he also deflects any kind of aggression here. The Oracles, they got 1 drone, not even. Looking at the Lings, looking at the loss count here, no drones went down, only trading against Lings. The Oracles, they have not paid for themselves. Back at home, herO, he is establishing his third base. It's getting up and running, getting shield batteries, but again, this is later than he would have liked. And he needs more damage. So thankfully, he doesn't go back home, right? The Oracles are still active. He's still looking for any kind of pickoffs. Meanwhile, Shin once again going for another Ling run by. He does run up to 63. That is just under 3 base saturation. Meanwhile, 1 drone goes down. Lings, they do get across the map so far. Good positioning here from herO. He defends well. Shield battery. Nice to here with the pylon as well, getting a 3rd Oracle. But still no major damage from these Oracles. Shin is getting a 4th base, but we'll see if he drones. Because right now, he is not droning quite some time, just now making 2 more. Again, 3 base saturation is 66, assuming he takes the gas geyser in the main. So he's getting up there. Likewise, Hydra Den, so he's going Ling Bane Hydra. herO moving out. Again, there's a lot of pressure on herO to get some damage. The early game has not gone his way. Nice round with the Lings. He gets an Adept. Takes down an Adept. Oh, Stasis goes off. Massive connection. Yeah, Stasis connects with everything here. At the same time, oh no, the wall! The wall is not a wall. SHIN, he busts into the natural. Probe's going to be going down. Getting 5 probe kills so far, now going further into the main. Meanwhile, we just see herO is trying to get on top of the mineral line here. He hasn't really dealt any economic damage so far. And Lings, they keep wreaking havoc. 7 probe kills. They force the recall. Lings, they pull out. herO, he backs off with the main army. He just doesn't have enough to keep going. And SHIN defends. SHIN, he defends. What does SHIN lose? SHIN, he has still only lost 1 drone so far. And now he's free to focus on his Hydra production. They did invest quite heavily into these Lings. And so far, they have bought a lot of time for SHIN. More Hydras building up. And does have the hybrid base here towards the south side. But he doesn't really drone it up too much. He does transfer. Yeah, he transfers workers over. Does saturate the gold minerals. So this is going to be 3-base saturation with a boosted economy. So he will have that at his disposal. We'll have that advantage here. SHIN, I mean. And I don't see SHIN droning. I don't see SHIN droning anymore from here. So 3-base saturation. Again, the boosted economy. Now focusing on purely Ling Hydra. And herO has not done enough. Back at home, he's not ready for this. There's no Storm, there's no Colossus. He's now working towards the Temple Archives. It's almost done, but the herO, he needs time for Storm. And without it, it's going to be a tough hold. It's going to be a tough hold for herO. SHIN moving out. Catching out some of the Stalkers. herO attempts a 4th base, but he should not be able to take this expansion. The real question becomes, can SHIN break the 3rd? There's a lot of stasis traps, true. A lot of stasis traps, shield batteries. SHIN getting ready for a baneling run by. Does some stuff forward, catching out a Stalker. Gets one. Gets a Stalker, dives on further. Storm halfway done. Ooh, stasis traps going to be going off. Not bad. And banelings. Oh no, more stasis traps. More stasis traps. They connect. They shut down the banelings. The Hydras, they start step forward. They get into the Stalkers. Baneling speed kicks in. Storm is still not done. And he gets in. He gets into the mineral line. 5 probes going to be going down. High Templar, they barely do survive. Stasis traps are running out. And SHIN, he does it. SHIN, he breaks the 3rd base. Yeah, massive concave banelings. They break out of stasis. They crash into the mineral line. Nice positioning with those Stalkers. Storm finally finishes up. Does complete. Meanwhile, Lings, oh, they do rotate. Yeah, they rotate back over. Now focusing on the 3rd. SHIN, he knows he has to break herO here and now. Stasis does not go off. Oracle goes down and the base, it falls. Yeah, 3rd base is going to go down. GG gets called and SHIN, he overwhelms herO and SHIN takes game number 1. Whew, GG. SHIN does take a lead in this series. Again, just a really strong early game out of SHIN to be able to contain, to be able to deny the 3rd base, to cancel the expansion, to pick off a couple of key units. More importantly, to not take any economic damage. We saw the Oracle harass, the Adept harass, the aggression as well, the Stalker move out. And what did herO get done for it? 1 drone kill. He killed 1 drone. Ay, ay, ay. And on top of that, the expansion of the hybrid base as well did also kind of boost SHIN's attack when it came to his initial 3-base push, when it came to his Ling Hydra almost maxed out with Ling Bane Hydra, so he had that advantage as well. He was able to gain map control, took full advantage of the map, and did snowball out of control. GG. GG, well played. A lot of momentum there in favor of SHIN. We'll see if herO can recover coming into game 2. Coming into game number 2, going to be loading into El Dorado. Of course, another key moment I want to emphasize, actually, if you remember, there was one key moment when herO, it was after the Oracle harass, it was after the Adept harass, with his first Stalker move out. If you remember, there was that one moment when a massive stasis trap connected on the main army of SHIN, connecting with his Lings and with his Queens, and his base was actually quite vulnerable, and we saw herO pushing forward, but it was in that moment when herO was pushing into the 3rd base at the time when the wall was down, right? The wall was open, and when SHIN got into the natural, got into the main base, and that's when he forced the recall. Looking back on that moment, if those Lings didn't get into the bases, if herO was able to keep his Oracles with his main army and focus his attention on that attack, he might have dealt significant damage at the 3rd, to be honest. Like, again, like that stasis was crazy, and there wasn't really much at home to defend, so there's definitely a world there where things could have gone a little bit better for herO and maybe at least elongated the game, right? At least, you know, force a longer game there, maybe Storm finishes earlier, and then we get a different kind of game state. But here we go, we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of El Dorado, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg representing Gaming Gladiators. It is SHIN. Leading the series 1-0. But as a reminder, this is a best of 5. It is a best of 5, so plenty of games ahead of us, plenty more games to come. As alluded to, from one of the larger maps in the map pool to one of the smaller maps. El Dorado does have a shorter rush distance by ground, also a very direct rush distance by ground as well. There are limited attack paths on this map, as opposed to on Hell's Gate, where you have like different attack angles into like the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, in between the bases as well. Like, that's not quite the case here, as half the map is cut off by minerals. Is cut off. We'll see if either player does expand towards each other. Also, get ready to see past lights leave the game as well, because if you recall, like, at the time my internet did stabilize for a little bit, and I was like, oh, you know, maybe it was like a one-off thing. So I tried to rejoin game 2, and it didn't last long. Did not last long. That was the last time. Then from there, I think we raided Rex, I think. Yeah. After that, I think we raided Rex and called it a night. Meanwhile, Stargate opener out of herO. Once again, standard opener. Like, we don't really expect herO to deviate. He can, don't get me wrong, like, he can deviate and go into, like, Mass Oracle into Charge or Glaive Adepts, 100%. I mean, hey, he beat several on this map with Glaive Adepts. True. Like, he is willing to glaive it up from time to time. But it's a little bit more of a rarity for herO. As SHIN does take his 3rd. Splitting up between the bases. I think Rex leave at some point too. Oh no. No, Rex, no. Papi. We'll see. As there is that Oracle opener. Oracle zooming out across the map. Likewise, SHIN just saturating his bases so far, keeping up with the Adepts. Nothing major for the time being. 2 Adepts can one-shot workers, and herO is going for the mineral line. As SHIN does pull his drones away. 1 drone is gonna fall. He gets 1. Doesn't get 2. But so far so good. 1 drone. 1 drone goes down. The Adepts, they both survive. They shade away. herO does stick around, waiting for the Oracle, waiting for a distraction. As Oracle moves out, Lings move in. SHIN getting ready to deny the 3rd base once again. 3rd base about to be taken, but SHIN, he pulls away for now, looking for the... Oh, he has to respond to the Adepts. The Adepts take him into the shade. Oracles as well. Drone's going to be going down. Nice drone drilling there from SHIN, but regardless, 6 drone kills. Insane damage. He gets 6 workers, and SHIN, he has to counterattack. But the counterattack is late, and that's still 9. 10? Up! 11? 10 drones go down. Lings, they hit the natural. They don't quite go for the 3rd. And there's an Oracle to defend. Yeah, there's an Oracle to defend. SHIN does recheck that 3rd base, but he will not cancel. Not this time. The Oracle is in position. And herO with a very strong start. Oh my god. A very strong start to the game. Where last game, it took so much for herO to even get 1 drone. Here, 10 workers, both Oracles still alive, the 3rd base does not get cancelled, and you can see just the polar opposite here, just how different the game can look with these openers. As he gets a Queen, pulls back, Forge on the way, Twilight Council. herO looking a little more comfortable, getting into +1 and Blink. Saturating his 3rd, soon to be. And SHIN, he's hurting. SHIN, he is hurting here. Let's try to rotate. herO likewise reinforcing with his 3rd Oracle. Queen's not quite in position, but he doesn't quite go for the mineral line. Does find the active tumor though. The tunic goes down. Oh, he thinks about the Queen. Getting another tumor. There's a follow-up. Oh, that's me. That's me, Pappy. That's me. Smooch. Feels bad, man. But that's the last we see of Past Light. That's all about the future. As we do see Shin mixing it up here, actually. Okay, so winding it back, Shin, he has taken a lot of losses. He's taken a lot of economic damage, and he's aware of that. He's aware of that. This looks like an all-in. We're going for an early Roach one here. It's hidden in the main base. Remember, last game, it was Ling Bane Hydra out of Shin. Shin, he skipped his Roach one in favor of preserving his gas for Hydra Tech. Here, another 8 drones. Oh god, another 8 workers. 18 in total. 19 even. 19 drones going down. Shin, he is struggling. And at this point, we can't redrone. At this point, I'm imagining we're going to be going into... I mean, okay, there's a couple different things we could do. Either we could just redrone on 2.5 bases, on 3 bases, and go into Roach speed and go for a Roach all-in. I was going to say we could try to go for the gold. We could try to go for the gold bases, and that would be a way to recover. But Shin will take the southern 4th. Shin is cutting workers at 57. Bear that in mind. Lings, they hit the expansion. Shield battery in position. Lings, they do nothing. They're deflected. And here come the Roaches. Roaches are massing. We have plus 1 range on the way, Roach speed on the way. I would imagine we're gonna be wanting to hit the timing with those upgrades with +1 and Roach speed. Hero's moving out. Roach is still building up. We have some Lings to support. And Shin is not droning any further. He's also not taking any more gases. So Shin is staying on 3. We have 2 gases in the main. We have 1 gas here at the natural. No gases at the 3rd. Here he does spot the expansion. And he can blink over the wall. Yep. Blinks over. There's no way to stop it. Oh god. Lings, they did try to engage. Stasis Trap's going to be going off. Massive connections. Oh god, and Shin, he does try to squeeze his way through that wall. Not the best engage here from Shin. Behind the Shin, he's droning. Okay, never mind. He's going to try to macro out of this. I thought it was going to go for the all-in, but no, Shin, he's droning. Infestation bit, a Hydrogen is on the way. Or Hydrogen just finished. Okay, bold move here by Shin. We'll see if he can recover. herO getting his own 4th. Another stasis connects. Now, if Shin can get into Lurker Tech, he can slow the game down. 100%. 100%. If he can get into a decent amount of Lurkers, he can slow down the game, he can buy time, he can max out himself. That is definitely a possibility, but the problem is that herO has so much momentum already, and herO, he's not going to wait. He's going to come to you. herO, he's here, this time, with Storm. We saw last game, we barely saw Storm at the end of game 1, but here, herO, he's locked and loaded. He's ready back. Massive Storm, oh my god, he goes back into the Storm. Storm goes off on the Ling Roach. Brutal connection. We have 3 more Storms left. Likewise, another Storm here on the Roaches. Oof. Forcing them back. Hydra's on the way. Storm here on the ramp. Oh my god, he stands in the Storms. I mean, yeah, the army does bunch up. The Storms are brutal. That was the final Storm, and the Stalkers, they clean up. They clean up everything else. They have nice concave here on the Queens. We get a couple of transfuses. But herO, he breaks through. GG gets called, and herO ties up the series 1-1. Whew. GG. We have a back and forth. We're jumping in. Seems like 480p stream. Try refreshing or checking your resolution. It should be 1080. Should be looking good. As we're getting into... Or try refreshing. Try refreshing as we're getting into game number 3. Let's go. But winding it back, of course, talking about that previous game, herO, he had a much stronger start. As a reminder, how many drones did he kill? 19. He killed 19 workers. It was insane damage, pap. Yay. But it was 19 worker kills at the start of the game, which is why, if you recall, I had assumed that Shin was... I had assumed that Shin was going to go for an all-in, right? I just assumed it was going to be an all-in. Shin, he tried to tech instead into Lurker Tech. Bold move. It was a bold move, but unfortunately, he wasn't quite able to get there, and with that, GG. GG, well played. We have a back and forth, and now we're getting into game number 3 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love. We have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss from South Korea, tying up the series. It is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player, also from South Korea, representing Gaiming Gladiators. It is Shin. Here we go. Ooh. herO has arrived for a pylon block. SHIN, he pulls away with drone, tries to hide it. And he will barely keep... Oh no! Here he comes back in time. Does turn back around, and herO, he will block the expansion. He will delay. SHIN forced to go for the... is going for the hatch block, thankfully. Does go for the hatch block across the map. It's going to be hatch into gas. Into he wants another expansion, but maybe forced to throw down that spawning pool. There we go. It does get the expansion just barely in time, followed by the spawning pool. Now, as a reminder, for those that are curious, for those that are tuning in, this is not an all-in out of SHIN. This is an economic opener. Remember, it's hatch, gas, hatch into delayed spawning pool. So very late pool here from SHIN. This is designed to delay the economy of the Protoss player. This is the equivalent of the pylon block, right? Where you see the Protoss player move in, they pylon block, and they force the Zerg player to expand elsewhere. Or maybe a more apt comparison is the eBay block. The eBay block in a TVP, where the eBay gets thrown down and forces out a zealot, forces boys to be pulled. The hatchery is going to be dealt with, and herO will eventually expand, but it's going to be a delayed expansion. So SHIN does disrupt the opener here of herO. There's a cancel, and herO can now expand. Can now take his natural base. Now herO, he was forced to make these... Oh, no gas steal. No gas steal here. He's ready for the gas steal. Is on hold position here on the gas geyser. But here he was forced to make these two zealots. Now, these two zealots have a lot of potential early on. The reason for this, the pool just finished. There's no queen. Supply block. Yeah, so there was a supply block. There was no queen. There are no lings. So these two zealots can actually get some damage done here. We'll see depending on how herO controls. Likewise, depending on how SHIN pulls away and reacts. These zealots may even just yet deny mining time. Good damage. Good damage so far. Mining time is denied. herO trying to stay on top of those eggs. Adept has arrived as well. And this is forcing more and more lings out of SHIN, where SHIN would have liked to have just been droning here, but now he has to kind of reap what he sowed. Oh. And as he has to wait for the queens have arrived, and now SHIN can drone. But you can see just how many lings SHIN had to invest into. You could definitely argue an overinvestment, but I had to make 4 more. Behind this, getting to ling speed, pulls out, and now can drone. Now, with ling speed, he can make use of this army, true, and he can try to shut down the adept and shut down the zealots. But he would like more damage. Drone Scout confirms the Stargate, confirms the Oracle. Oracle opener out of herO. So both players kind of stumble their way into the early to mid game, with SHIN being forced to make all these lings, with herO being forced into a late expansion. But again, really good use of these zealots, and I appreciate that herO doesn't stick around. Like, herO, he recognizes once ling speed kicks in, these zealots are kind of useless, at least across the map. So he does pull back, he's making use of them here to wall off. Now moving out with the depths. Very intentional moves here by herO. With these depths, he can threaten the mineral line. Oracle comes into support. And we'll see if SHIN can keep up. So far, so good. Spores are on the way. herO going for the expansion. Oh, even activates the pulsar beam. That's going to be a big commitment here for herO. He's going for the third base. Rotates over towards the third. Our last lings are in position. Queens as well. Despite that, does get 2 drone kills. Oh god. Oh no! Does ever say is welcome. The flanking queen. Oracle goes down. Massive pickup. That was not worth of a herO. Lings to get us around. And with that SHIN, he will defend. He will defend, and he should hunt down these adepts. Even with the Oracle, there's no escaping this. Takes down all 3. And herO, he had a great start with those initial zealots, but here does fumble a little bit. Losing that Oracle, being forced back home. Now SHIN is free to drone up. Free to drone, free to saturate. SHIN is going for an early Evo chamber. This does scream +1 melee. This does look like we're skipping roaches and going into Ling Hydra. Assuming this is +1 melee, of course. As the Oracle does find a transferring worker. Not bad. Gets 1, gets 2. Gets 2 drone kills. That's 4 drone kills in total. That is still not worth an Oracle. So, again, here he still needs more damage. As he is replacing the Oracle that he lost, getting another Oracle here. Taking a lot of hits. And we do have a safety Roach Horn. Okay, safety Roach Horn, and oh, I'd assume +1 melee. That is not the case. It's going to be +1 range instead here by Shin. This means we're going for a more dedicated Roach move out. Now, this could be Roach Hydra, or it could be Roach Queen. With Roach speed and a bigger commitment across the map, I'm leaning towards kind of the lines of almost like a Drop Lord all-in. So very curious. I believe herO has not seen this. Yeah, he has not seen the Evo Chamber. He's not aware. He does spot the Roach Horn, but he only has a piece of the puzzle. And Shin, so far, he is cutting work in production. We lose another 3 drones, going down to 67. That is still 3 base saturation. Hydra then on the way. Okay, so it's going to be Roach Hydra. And just like the previous game, I expect him to take a 4th base, but just for larva. I'm not leaning too heavily here towards him saturating the base and going into lurker tech. I'm leaning more towards just pure Roach Hydra. The reasoning for this is just because of how the early game has gone so far, and it's gone quite well for Shin. So you may want to leverage that. Meanwhile, oh, doesn't quite get this around. Interesting Robo follow-up into a Bay, not into Storm this time. herO, he's played Storm 2 games in a row, but now he's switching it up into Colossus. Things they poke in. herO going for the 4th. We'll see if we can force a cancel. 4th base taking a lot of hits. Stasis is baited. The base is getting very low. One more volley. Oh, oh my god. Does force a cancel. Massive pickoff. Catching out the Overlords as well. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, gets one. Doesn't quite get the other. Oracles it into the main base. Going for the Queen and no transfuse. Queen goes down. Even getting another Queen. Oh, barely not. Whew. Hydras are revealed. +1 range as well. And we spoke earlier about Shin most likely not saturating the 4th base. Well, now it's, I mean, now there's a higher chance that won't happen. As he's building up his army, just pure Roach Hydra, staying on 65 workers. Not droning up. Likewise, getting on top of another Oracle, not bad. Oh, brutal stasis though. Sage does catch half the army. That will deter Shin. Shin has to back off. First Colossus is coming out. herO getting his first Colossi. Shin trying to catch out some Stalkers, but herO, he's not stopping, he's not slowing down. Is getting his own 4th expansion, but his army here is brutal, and he does have on top of the Hydras. Yeah, massive catch. Hydras are going down. Picks up Hydras, collapses on more of these Roaches. And this is just too much. herO snowballing out of control. Doesn't go in between the bases, doesn't need to. Rotates over towards the 4th once again. I'll get these Overlords out of here. Get him out of here. Yeah, Shin does dive forward. Quite able to. herO holding his own. Nova goes off. Ooh, massive connection. Connects with the Hydras. Running out of Roaches as well. Shin, he is holding the line at least. But again, he wanted to be more aggressive. It's Shin who hasn't been joining in quite some time. It's Shin that's going for a 3-base all-in. He's just keeping his head above water. Decent concave here from Shin. Never goes off. Oof. Takes down a Hydra. Second Disruptor has arrived. Getting ready for another Nova. Up, up. Yeah, there it comes. Taking down Hydra after Hydra. Queen takes a lot of hits, diving on the main army, and there's an opening. Yeah, there's an opening. herO, he breaks through that defensive line. GG gets called, and herO, he will take a 2-1 lead. Whew. GG. GG, well played herO. He will take a lead here again. herO, despite Shin being able to have a decent defense and shutting down the first couple of Oracles and getting his 4th base, the big moment for herO, denying the 4th. He denied the 4th base. He did force a massive cancel. losing the 4th base may not seem like a lot when you're going for a 3 base all in. Like, it's like, oh, he didn't need that base for saturation necessarily. That's true, but did need it for production and to keep his economy going. As you saw towards the end there was mining going on at that 4th, because as the game progresses, as SHIN runs out of mineral patches, he does transfer. He transfers over to maintain that 3 base economy. So did need that a lot sooner, likewise with production as well, but alas, he was broken then and there. herO had a lot of momentum from that moment and did snowball out of control. GG well played. I mean, it was denying that base in conjunction with that massive stasis on all those Hydras. 2 very strong moments there for herO. And with that, herO is 1 game away from claiming the series. Needs 1 more to win it all. SHIN has to fight back herO now to force the ace match. Let's go. As we are loading into Frostline. Loading into Frostline. Frodo and Burrito Pappy started chasing each other with zoomies, and I was like, oh well, I'm up. Let's watch some StarCraft. Beautiful. Ah, no. They know the ducks are up. The ducks are about. Beautiful. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, leading the series 2-1. 1 game away from claiming it. It is a herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player, himself, representing Gaimin Gladiators from South Korea. It is SHIN. Here we go. Once again, here he is here to deny the expansion. Second drone moves in. herO, he pulls away for a moment, but he's still in position just in time. Oof. He does get here, does deny the second drone. SHIN forced to take the linear 3rd base. Forced to take the unnatural natural. This time, no hatch block. Ooh, okay. No hatch block out of SHIN. Can settle in. Now, what I will say about the map so far, game 1 was on Hellscape, and it was a much larger map. SHIN had a lot more freedom to actually be able to build up an army, to defend his bases, to expand. The 2 games so far where he has struggled have been El Dorado and Ultra Love. 2 very small maps in the map pool. Very small maps, shorter rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored because of that, and we saw herO with that aggression being able to deny bases and assert a lot of dominance over SHIN in a way. Here coming into Frostline, the map is larger. Larger map in the map pool. I would say that SHIN should have an easier time at maintaining his economy and getting a 4th base and gaining map control, just purely off the maps. We'll see if that's the case. See if that's the case coming into Frostline. So far, herO just being as annoying as possible. Try to force some inefficient mining. Being relatively successful. Shake your computer vigorously. True. Just blow into it. And slap it a couple of times. I'm sure that'll work. So far, this is going to be a Stargate opener. Stargate here out of herO. Once again, standard opener. As we mentioned at the start of the series here, he isn't really one to deviate too often. He can, play glaives and ape it up a little bit from time to time, but he typically does thrive in the mid-game, standard opener, into a 3rd base, into blink aggression. What he excels at is his unit control. His unit control with his adepts, with his oracles. At times has shown some weakness, but overall, still overcomes. Dev gets 1 drone so far. SHIN does pull away. That first Oracle is almost out. Now from the side of SHIN, it can be a little bit awkward defending the natural just because it's at a more exposed location, more vulnerable location. Out at the 3rd. So far he's in position. We should soon be seeing those spores. 2 queens at the 3rd. With the natural. Lings move out to the 3rd base of herO. Here he's in position. He's got his adepts. Lings, they go for the dive. Oh, they don't quite get the probe. And spore production has begun. Oh, as he does divide some of those eggs. As we go here with the Oracle. Rotates over towards that third. Spore is not done. Queen's out of position, and drones are going down. This should not have happened. 3, 4, 5 drone kills. Oh my god. Barely gets 5 towards the end. It does pull out, does pull away. Very nice damage here by herO. SHIN caught with his pants down. Oh, almost gets the Oracle, not quite. And do you see what I see? I see no Forge. Now, so far, herO, he has gone for standard builds every game so far until this moment. This is an early Twilight Council, early Gateway Explosion. This could be one of two things, either Glaives or Blink. No Forge signifies earlier tech, earlier upgrade, more aggression. There it is. Glaives are on the way. So herO, he is adapting it up. Going for the Mass Glaive Adepts. Now, this is designed to catch the opponent off guard. So far, the third base timing is normal, is standard, but the follow-up is not. And SHIN, he has not gone in for the scout. He still does not know what's going on. He's not aware. Now, it is standard in ZVP to skip the Roach Warren, to skip the Baneling Nest, and to go Ling Hydra. If that's what SHIN is going for, he's going to be in trouble. As it's going to be a tough defense here without Roaches or Banelings, with only pure Ling Queen. Lair is on the way. No Roach Warren yet. Things are looking better and better for herO. And I really like this build, especially in this moment for herO, just because every game so far, it's been the same build, right? It's been the same style out of herO. You know, Oracle Opener into a third base, into +1 and Blink, right? Every single game, same build, same style. So to mix it up here, I mean, in a way, SHIN is on autopilot. SHIN just making assumptions like, oh yeah, like I don't need a scout, like it's gonna be a standard game. Really, it's anything but. How many adepts? 17 adepts moving out across the map. What do we have to defend? We have queens and lings. How many lings? 15. Less lings than there are adepts. And this may just be game. Queens get surrounded, oracles, they come into support. Queens, they go down one after the other. And there's only lings. There's just nothing here. Yeah, if we went caught with our pants down, GG gets called. There's nothing to defend, and herO, he will claim the series 3-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. The pants were down, Bobby. The pants were down. Again, no Roach Warren, no Baneling Nest, no scout by SHIN. Once again, herO, he played standard every single game up until game 4, where he did mix it up. Didn't throw down the Forge, did not start +1. He went for an earlier Twilight Council into Glaives, and he caught SHIN completely off guard. He had no idea what was happening, and there was no answer. That's GG. GG, then and there. With that, herO will claim it, and we'll see who will join herO in those finals. Let's go. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. As a reminder, we are here in the semifinals, the playoffs of the Rex March Madness. herO is our first player to make it to those grand finals, but we have another semis ready for us. Un momento here as I do fix up the bracket, fix up the scoreline. Bam. As herO, he's the first in the finals, and he's waiting for the winner of Clem and MaxPax. Oh boy. The best hero in Protoss in all of Europe, and again, I would say Clem is currently still the best player in the world. Of course, Clem, he's a beast, he's a titan. Clem is favored to win it all, but we have seen both MaxPax and herO make Clem bleed. They've both taken maps, they've both taken series, they've both taken him down in the past month. Not saying they are favored, not at all. Clem is still favored here, but these two Protoss players can definitely make him work for it, and we'll see if MaxPax can stop him in his tracks here in the semis in the best of 5. Let's go. Let us go. Meanwhile, shout out to SHIN, of course, for making it here to the playoffs. Did have a strong run, and even a really strong game 1. Like, game 1 was very impressive there by SHIN. But maybe herO just needed some time to warm up. Maybe. Regardless, here we go. We're jumping into game 1. Going to be loading into Whispers of Gold.